So you want to go fishing with me? Let's do this. So if you're getting this video, there's a good chance that you're a noob, I know it, or there's some things you gotta kind of be aware of before we get on the water because you want to go fishing with me. And what we don't want to do is get there and be like, oh no, what's going on? What do I do? Ah! So this video is going to help you kind of get acclimated with some of the things you need to know before we get on the water because it's going to be awesome, but not if you're fixing your line the entire time or you know. The first thing you need to understand is that when you go fishing, it's called fishing for a reason. It's because you're trying to figure out how to catch a fish. It's not called catching. Like there's no guarantees that we're going to catch a big one or a small one or a really small one. It is fishing. We have to figure it out. And so let's walk through the things you're going to need before we go on this trip. The first is essentials. These are the essentials you're probably going to need if you go with me. Because if we go fishing, we're probably going to go do a creek or a lake. If we go to a lake, no matter what, you're going to want to dress appropriately. You want to be warm or comfortable for a lake environment. For a lake environment, I recommend a long sleeve UV shirt, maybe a hoodie thing like this. And it's optional if you want to wear shorts or pants or whatever. I like to wear waterproof shoes when I'm at the lake in case I need to step in the water or step in the mud or whatever reason. I will not be wearing my nice shoes when fishing. No way. As it gets colder, I might add layers, like lots of layers, even gloves or a face mask or even a beanie. Layers are important. Now, if I go to a creek, you're going to want a wader system, waterproof so that you can stand in the water. And that's super important when you're on a creek because you are no longer standing above the water line. You're now standing below the water line, which makes it harder for the fish to see you. Because what's that? Oh wait, it's one of those land monsters! Layers if it's cold, like 2, maybe 3 layers if it's really cold. And trust me, your phalanges, fingers and toes, will get numb before everything else. It's just the way your body works. It's going to push all the blood to protect the inner organs. Your chest is going to be warm. Your bum is going to be warm. Your legs are going to be a little chill, but your feet and your fingers, you're going to feel that. So you're 2, 3 socks maybe. If we're like in a warm season, that's less important. I might even be like, let's get swimming trunks and go stand in the creek. But gloves, maybe 2 pairs of gloves if it's cold, because if they get wet, you can swap them real quick. Beanie, and you're going to want a net. You're going to want accessible terminal tackle. When I say accessible, I mean you want to be able to put it into your pocket really close, maybe a little pouch that hangs on your chest or on your side. And then you're going to want your, of course, fishing rod. Now, if you don't have any of those things, that's okay, because I literally have 2 or 3 of each, maybe more. No matter what, we can make sure that you have what you need to be on the water. So if you're thinking about getting your own stuff, there you go. We got a list of things right there. Check it in the description. I'm going to put it in there. These are a list of things you're going to want to bring. All right. The next thing you're going to want to do is figure out knots. I'm not going to do a whole video on knot. I'm just going to tell you the one knot that is the most important knot, and you can click right, boom! Click the link and learn the clinch knot. All right, now we're going to need to learn this concept called mending. This is a very, very unique concept, and if you don't know what it is, it's going to be much easier if you watch the video that's hit to this link here and watch this guy mend his line or fix his line. You ultimately don't want your line to be dragging or pulling your floats or line or whatever, right? So have a good understanding of what that is and how that affects your presentation. All right, so let's talk about the actual concept of fishing, because you now have your gear, you've tied your knots, and you're ready to go. You've figured out mending, and you're ready to get in the water and catch a fish. All right, where and how do we do it? if we're on a lake, the first thing you want to do is fish where the fish are at. And this is super important because fish don't reside in the entire body of water. Maybe 5% of the water have fish. If the body of water is smaller, that's different because now your 5% becomes 10%, becomes 15%, becomes 20%. And either way, it's not 100% of the water equals 100% of the fish. So if you're sitting in a spot and you're not catching anything, but you're doing it all right, it's because there are no fish in that spot. Make sense? Very good. So we need to go to where the fish are at. And there's a few ways you can do that. That's pretty immediate. The first is you use your eyes. If the water turbidity is clear enough, or the clarity is clear enough, then you can see that there are fish there. All right. Sometimes you can see swirls. You can see little things move around. Fish there. All right. The second thing you can do is look for structure, any kind of structure, something that is different and unique that stands out in the body of water, like a tree, like some foam, like that big dark spot right there, or that pier hanging over, or whatever that thing is over there. Fish are usually next to structure because structure offers shelter and shade. There's whole kinds of science involved with that, and when we're driving together, ask me about that kind of stuff. I'm happy to tell you. Right? And the third thing you can do to find fish is to listen. Try listen. Sometimes you're fishing over here and you're, psh, what was that? It was a fish, right? Sometimes you hear smaller ones. The smaller ones are super important. You hear a big splash, okay, that's just a fish doing its thing, whatever. Maybe it found something, right? You want to listen for the small ones, like little smacks, right? That's small fish doing small things over here. And that means where there are small fish, that's where the big fish are going to get ready to hunt. All right? And depending on what we're trying to catch is going to affect all that. Now, if we're in a creek, some of this changes. Not a lot, but some of it, right? Because now, instead of the fish roaming around in all of the lake, the fish are now trying to stay steady in the water. The fish are going to be aiming upstream. They're going to be looking upstream. The water is going to be going one way. We will be presenting the bait to them in that same pattern. And the fish will just be there chilling, grabbing it, and they're in the same spot the entire time. So once you find that pocket of fish, that school of fish, they're going to be there. So, and you're not going to want to leave. You, in general, don't leave fish to find fish, unless of course you're like really bored of catching the same fish all day, and then you want to find more fish. But ultimately, in a creek environment, the fish are right in front of you, and you're just going to stay there and work it. But here's how you work it. You're going to work close, middle, far, and then low, middle, high. Start as close as you can to yourself that you're able to just barely see. If you look down and you see there's rocks, clearly there's no fish. Because remember we said fish where there are fish. If you don't see a fish, fine. But you can see sometimes how the water changes. It's oscillating darker. You don't see anything. That's because it got deep all of a sudden. Fish there first. Then go a little farther. Then go a little farther. Then go up, across. All right? And then as you present it to them, start low, like real low. If the water is 4 feet, you're going to want your line to be about 5-6 feet. Start low and then eventually go higher and higher and higher, because different times of the year, different seasons, different temperatures affect where the fish want to feed. Down here, up here, more, maybe over here, right? It all is a problem. But hey, let's understand what's happening in the creek, because as the water is going down, we have like this open space, we have rapids, we have a choke point, and then we have this open spot here. All right, but through all of it, you see here, this is our lane, our fishing lane. This will be the fastest part of the water. Right? The fish won't be in the fastest part for long. They're going to be kind of in the middle of the fast and the dead water. This water here is not moving. I mean, it's moving real slow. You want to be in the middle. you're going to know exactly where this is by watching the bubbles, right? The bubbles is the lane. In the middle of the lane, not much is happening. The fish are going to be out in this dead lane, whether it be behind this rock, and they're going to pop into this middle part, and then boom, grab the bait or grab their fish or grab their meal, and and that's it, right? So understanding where they might be in the water will help you a lot. So look with your eyes, see the structure, listen with your ears. All right. Now let's talk about hook set. Hook set is super important because if you have a fish and he bites on it and he realizes, oh, what's that? That's not right. You're gonna miss it. And this is very, very true with creek fishing or stream fishing, right? And if we are on a lake and the bobber's here and it just goes down, you can set going up, straight up and down. No big deal. But if we're in the creek, you don't want to set straight up and down. You want to set with the current of the water. Because the fish are facing one way, the current is going the other way. If you set the wrong way, you're literally going to pull it out of its mouth. You want to pull it and catch the side of its mouth, right? That's what you want. That's a big deal. Do it. Okay, so then let's talk about how to fight the fish. Because once you get the fish, that fish could be huge. And there's a good chance that if you're fishing with me or fishing for trout, steelhead, or something like that, something that's line shy, hook shy, and if they see something weird going on with that worm, that bait, that fly, that whatever, they're gonna be like, nope, I've seen that before. You're not catching me today. Nope. What's this? Oh, he got me, right? So you have to trick them. You trick them with invisible line, light gear, light tackle. This is a whole process, right? But once you get them, if you don't work your tools properly, the fish will literally break the line right off or bend the hook straight. I've had that happen before. So on your fishing rod, it might be something like this. It might be a spinner. It might be a fly rod. There's going to be some sort of torque system. That's when the fish have it and you set it really low and you're reeling, you hear that? And normally when you reel it in, it brings the line in, right? But if the torque is set low, no matter what happens, this end over here is going nowhere. All right? But if I begin to tighten it, high torque, just like on a power drill, now look, it's changing a little bit. It's giving a little bit of something. So I'm going to tighten even more. And now it's bending it. It's pulling it in. If I keep pulling, eventually it's going to break either my pole or my line or my hook. So when you get a fish, you want to set it right in the middle. Right? That's what you want to hear. You want to set it and have a small, okay? Because it's going to get in there. And then you're going to be able to reel it in. Reel it in fast and ASAP. All right? You just go. And as soon as it begins to fight and go, let go, loosen the drag, and let the fish go as much as it wants. All right? Because if you keep pulling, you're just going to break it. Instead, let them calm down, let them get tired. As it calms down and get tired, keeping the line tight, keeping your rod up, keeping it going, and then bring it in. And as he begins to fight some more, let it out. It's this dance. It's back and forth, letting him dance. When he gets tired enough, this could take 10 minutes. I had a fish once. Goodness, this fish was huge. Like, boom, it was big. And it took me 10 minutes on a fly rod to get him in because if I had pulled too hard, he would have broken the line. But you know, after 10 minutes of just being patient, dancing with him, making him tired, landed him. Boom! Big fish. And all that is based on learning how to work your reel and its torque system and all that jazz. So, that about does it. All these things. This should get you ready to catch some fish with me. So, write some questions down because I know you're going to have a bunch, and that's awesome. You message me, text me, get them ready. When we're driving, on the way, let's talk about the fish. Until then, tight lines, y'all. I'll see you soon. We're going to catch that fish. Let's go. Let's get it. I'm ready. Come on. I'm fishing rod right now.